What's up, guys? And today I'm gonna be starting a new series on how to play certain operators in the game. So the reasoning, the logic behind this is that my friend recently bought Rainbow, and I want to help him get better at the game, as my friend did when I started Chimera. I want to push it on. So today I'll be talking about Lesion, and I'll leave a card which will have the next ops you can load on. So Lesion is a really good solo queue operator. You can get info for yourself when you're still looking in ranked and you're not in a 5 stack. So he's a 2 armor and 2 speed. So a little about his loadout. So he has 2 primaries and 1 secondary. He has the shotgun and an SMG. His SMG got a mini buff, but I'll talk about that later. So his shotgun is the S12, 612, and it was released in Blood Orchid and both him and Nut Cavett. So it comes in 2 variants, the regular model and the integrity suppressed model. The damage remains the same between both variants and an optimum range. Hitting all 8 pellets will guarantee a kill on any operator regardless of their armor. So the attachments that you have on it are the red dot sight, holographic, and the reflex sight. And the underbarrel is the laser. So about Legion's T5 SMG, it's a really good gun, and I use it mostly 99% of the time. It has virtually no recoil with a rate of fire of 900 RPM. It was introduced back in the Blood Orchid, and now both Lesion and Lucy have access to the weapon. The attachment options available on it are the red dot sight, hollow, reflex, and with the 5x, so that's available for Lesion only. So the suppressor, for the barrels, he has a suppressor, flash hider, compensator, and muzzle brake. I myself run the flash hider, as for me his gun has almost a little no recoil, so I don't need a compensator. And the underbarrel is laser, and I only use a laser on shotgun, so I will never use it. I would use a 1.5x sight, but the sights are up to you. So yeah, and then his ability is the goo mine, his special ability. So all about goo mines. They're throwable devices that deploy on the floor and stick to any attacker who triggers them. They have a detection and effective radius of a meter. So the mine will trigger on one operator, but it can affect multiple operators if they are within the proximity of the mine. Because of how they function, if an attacker attempts to destroy it with a melee attack, it will detonate anyway. So they'll deploy as long as they're on a flat surface. That means that Legion can deploy them anywhere on high surfaces such as desk, cabinet, or even the windowsills. As long as the attackers come in proximity of the mines, they'll trigger it. However, when in bookshelves or obstructed surfaces, they will not trigger. Mines are retrievable even after being deployed, so you can pick them up. Goo mines have a throwing profile similar to impact grenades, so when a mine hits a wall or ceiling, it falls directly down. Getting affected by a goo mine causes a queasy visual distortion and does damage over time as the needle remains inserted in the victim's leg. They can either fight the distortion and take the damage, you won't be able to sprint, or they can follow the on-screen prompt and remove the needle from their leg, lowering their gun and leaving themselves vulnerable in the process. Getting stunned by the needle deals no damage, but it's followed by 4 damage periodically every 2 seconds. Until removed, as I said before, the needle will continue to deal its periodic damage, and the operator cannot sprint. If another goo mine is triggered while one is already stuck, it will only refresh the poison timer. It will not increase the poison damage, so it does not stack upon each other. In Bomb, if the operator is carrying the diffuser's poison, they cannot drop or plant it until they remove the needle. Hostages will trigger the mine in the game mode, but receive no further damage than the first tick. When down, the poison effect will continue. Goo mines are cloaked, but they can be seen on their surfaces through slight refractions. Their cloak functions by mimicking the floor it's on, but it can make the goo mine more noticeable if it's deployed on floor pattern changes. So like in cafe, in bakery. The icon will disappear if they're out of Legion's range and the mines trigger are destroyed. Lesion cannot see the mine icon throughout the wall, so you have no idea where it is. To prevent visual clutter, aiming down sights will reduce the size of the goo mine that you see. There can be a total of 8 goo mines deployed. However, Lesion does not start with the full complement of 8. He starts with 1 and acquires 1 every 30 seconds after. The second can be attained in the span of the prep phase. Like any other small deployable gadgets, the goo mines will be destroyed if they're too close to any wall in the middle of a reinforcement or barricade. So, ops that work well with Lesion are trap operators. So Capcan and his EDDs work well. Frost with her welcome mat, Ella, and Cav, who can interrogate those that are down from the goo mine, should the port come. But Cav is not that big of a deal. So, some of Legion's counters are there's you can still shoot it out if you see it, and since it's used as an active cloak and explosive to work, it's considered an electronic gadget. So that means Stature can disable the goo mine. Twitch can destroy them with her gadget if she can see them or knows where they are. And IQ can obviously nudge it and shoot where it is. So, in conclusion, I think you should use a T5 with the impacts so it can make rotates and murder holes. Lesion is an operator that you should be used very carefully. He's a god kill operator as he can get info for himself. You should keep yourself alive for the most amount of time and try to stay alive to the last 10 seconds when attackers need to push the site. That is when Lesion is at his best. Toss the Gumans where you think the attackers will make their last push, and if they attract it, they'll be stuck 4 seconds to pull it out. Remember that unlike before his nerf, you could only see the Gumans marked if you visibly see it yourself, if it's not obstructed by walls. There's no more explosive damage, so watch out and try to pressure to get hit by it, and make shields. Legion's the only hard counter to shields. Watch out for IQ as he can see them, and yeah, that's pretty much of Lesion. And once again, a photo of like the next operator guide.